Hi, everyone. This is Brian with Mobile Electronics and Friends. As always, my co-host Elias is with me. And today we are starting something a little different. We're going to do a little branch off from Where Are They Now? We talk with all these great finalists and competitors from the industry. And Elias and I had an idea of let's talk about what it takes to become one of those people, to get to the awards and get through the awards. So today we're going to do a segment that we have called How to Get There. And this is just going to be a little bit of what it takes, the effort that you kind of need to think about putting in. We're going to have different guests on at different times. We'll probably do some of our episodes live so that you can ask questions of former competitors or of committee members that have and are working on the process for the awards and the judging and all of that. So today we're going to kind of start this off and bring in what's the word?
The one,
the father of the industry awards. Our
now I feel like you're aging him a little bit. Let's just say the one, the guy.
One. Okay, we'll just call him the one. I was trying to think of a great little intro kick for him, but I think the one just really kind of nails it. I mean, he is the face of the industry awards. So, let's just get to it. There's not really a lot to go from there, right? Let's just, as you guys can tell, we're kind of doing this kind of on the fly. So,
I'm going to say this. So we said the one, but really, in addition to being the one or the guy, this is probably at the top of when it comes to cheerleaders and preaching about how important the awards are for not just an individual achievement, but also as a team effort. Let's call it what it is. The awards are his baby, and, as is the industry, is a big part of, who he is and what he is to us.
Yeah.
In the industry. So let's talk about not just the one at an influence level, but also, this is his thing. So
yeah. So everybody, welcome Chris Cook.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you, sir? How are you?
Introduction. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to age you a little bit, but I was trying to shave a few years off.
Well, I'm not a dad.
I didn't say dad. I said the father.
I feel like I have a lot of kids.
Yeah, right. And to be honest, I mean, if we look at it, I might look older than you at this point.
It's the camera.
Look at that. I didn't even think about that. That's driving me nuts. There we go.
There you go.
I think it's the camera or the makeup crew.
Your collection of goodies.
There you go.
Well, it's all about proper lighting.
Yeah. There you go. So, Chris, we wanted to have you on with this little spin-off that we're doing. And first and foremost, I want to thank you for giving us the platform to do all of these podcasts. I think we've had really good luck with the Where Are They Now series, and we're getting better with the others. But that's my first thing is being able to thank you for allowing us to do this in conjunction with Mobile Electronics.
Yeah, and you're quite welcome. I appreciate you guys stepping up to do it. I mean, it's a team effort around here, and I appreciate having some more members of the team. And it's really cool hearing some of these Where Are They Nows, and what they've become.
Right. And I've gotten a lot of feedback. I think Elias gets a lot of feedback about, how people enjoy them. I've had a couple people go, wow, you found a guy from 1999 when we did Chuck. And we've got others, we've still got some of the other guys that are from way back then that we're hoping to chat with. I know I've reached out to Jason Degos and I've reached out to Gary Biggs at some point, and we will have them on. And we've got some others. So, you know, we're still on the hunt trying to find my ultimate grail interview will be if we can find Brian Pendergrass, the very first two-time back-to-back, you know. So if we're able to find him, that will be the pinnacle of we've gone back as far as we possibly can.
That's where it all started.
That would be it. And, you know, and it all started about recognition. I mean, you know, at that time, we were kind of a ragtag bunch of folks, and, you know, trying to organize what became an industry into, you know, one cohesive group is not an easy task by any means.
No. Yeah, definitely it's a great thing that we have, as an industry, we've come together as. And, you know, when we talk about the awards and everything that goes into that, you know, what you've organized it into over the last, you know, decade or so now?
Yeah, it's been, you know, I was behind the scenes for quite some time. Solomon was the face of the awards for years, and he's moved on into, you know, bigger and better things, if you will.
Sure.
He and I still very good friends and chat frequently, and he does some stuff in the background for us. But, you know, you know, when it came time to fill the shoes, I did my best to step up and have a great industry awards that is all about recognizing those in the industry. And, you know, I think you brought it to my attention when I first kind of took over. There's some things we need to change. And, you know, I appreciate both you guys coming on and joining the committee that Rich Bassler is heading up, and, you know, starting to make change and incremental year over year and making the awards better and better, which has also increased our participation in the awards. So
which is a great thing.
Growing.
I look forward to the day when, you know, we may not ever go back to top 100, but if we have that many people participating, it means a lot more when you have more people participating and you make the list.
And honestly, I'll tell you, years ago when I was the editor of the magazine in the mid to late 2000s, after Solomon, before we even owned the magazine, before we even owned what was MEA, now MEA, I did the awards a couple years, and honestly and I was a judge before that, so it wasn't too far of a stretch. But, you know, honestly, we never really got to 100. And I don't mean to say that as like we didn't make the accomplishment, but a lot of times we'd end up with 70 or 80, and then we just use some from the previous year to make that top 100. So cutting it to 50 to me was more an elite crew. I think last year, you guys probably remember the numbers better than I, but I think we had 70, you know, 70 plus that submitted, and 50 made the cut. So I like, and that's what we have them make the cut rather than filling it in.
Right. And that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. When you actually are in the 50, when there's 70, 80, 100, you know, that means a lot more to somebody that makes the top 50, right? It's just like when you make the top 12, there's always more than 12, right? And
I mean, you know, if you make the top 12, you know, I have to send out my Venmo account to make sure they get there. You know, it's one thing I can say, and you guys see it too, you know, both our successes and failures, but we do our best to be honest with you guys, and you know, make sure that we're you know, picking what the people picked.
Right.
And it's tough. I mean, you know, you get a group of judges, and their scores can vary widely on different individuals, but, you know, ultimately we look at all the scores, aggregate them together, and then make that decision.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've had these last couple years, man, I tell you, there's just been some, and, you know, even the virtual year, some really great awards events with some stellar people, you know, coming up and getting the awards.
Yeah. I can say last year, you know, this year in Vegas, that's been one of my favorite awards ceremonies in many years.
Yeah, we pulled out the stops on that one. It'd be great to get some more sponsors, because it's an expensive night.
Oh yeah,
it's we do it right. It's a 6-figure night, and it's done right, so everybody gets proper recognition. And last year, I think was, I don't want to say it was over the top, but it flowed better than probably any previous awards that we've done.
Yeah. So one of my things, this is the thing I talk about that I think is really cool about how the awards have transitioned over the years is, I've been a part of the awards as a competitor from back in 2010. And I didn't get past the top 100 back then, but going to the awards, everybody would show up. It was t-shirts, shorts, jeans and stuff. And getting to like 2015, 2016 and on, it's become more of people are starting to dress up.
Yeah.
And to the point we've seen people showing up in 3-piece suits. I go usually now in like a shirt and tie and vest, slacks, whatever. But people are starting to put effort into to make it a bigger deal. It's an event to attend.
I even went and bought a new suit.
Well, see, there you go.
I hung out for a while in the tuxedo, but I felt like I should be passing out drinks on the table, so I thought I'd dress down a little bit.
I think one of the things that I'll add to that, Brian, is influence, whether it's from a close friend circle or a close industry like peer or mentor, or just the industry as a whole. I think we've all embraced the growth, not just from more participation, but it's just the unity of everyone collectively, participating in the awards. To me, like I see it like our Super Bowl, right? Or we can see it as our Emmy, or whatever it is. Yeah. This is our event. This is the event. This is the standard, right? So it's one of those things where, from growth of what we're wearing to what it means to us to what we do with it. I mean, all encompassing. I think we've acknowledged that this is it, and right. Chris just said something about having more people submit. I think the sales pro category, was a bit of a challenge at the beginning. Now we have more than what we actually need, which is great, Yeah. And that's just probably either a coworker saying, hey, you should do this, or an owner, or, manufacturer's rep, or, one of us, it goes a long way. Yeah. So it's pretty strong.
So Chris, I want to throw a question out to you.
Sure.
So in your eyes, kind of give us what your idea or your thoughts on the importance of participating in the awards in 2023 is.
I'll give you a very small incremental piece that will improve every retailer's business, as well as just straight up, just participating in the awards, just taking a video, being conscious of what you're doing, walking around your shop, looking at your team, looking at your business from the inside out, and then sending it to somebody gives you I stepped out of it for a minute, and you have a unique perspective at that point of your business. That initial thing is enough to make you go, hey, I've talked to so many of them that have done that and go, I really never looked at that, or I never thought about that, or, my impression of my business when I did that is just not, and then add to that people looking at other people's videos. I love when they get posted because people are like, wow, I wish I could do that. And we're sharing thoughts and ideas and helping each other grow. To me, from a base level of getting started with the nominations, that right there says a lot about our industry and how we can help each other be better.
Agreed. I think Elias and I will both agree that participating in the awards, and it forces you to look at what you're doing as a shop or an individual, because that's the only way I really participated heavily was as an individual. But it makes your team or you as an individual look at what you're doing, and when you put it out there for other people to look at it,
yep,
you're going to get feedback no matter what, and it's going to force you to look at yourself and how do I get better at what I do? What can I do to be better to represent the industry when I'm trying?
So that's step one, Brian. That's step one. The next is the voting that gets you into the top 12, top 5, top, whatever the top is for the particular award. That voting requires that you market yourself or your store.
Yeah.
Now, people made up, well, I'll just wait for somebody to come vote for me. Well, I can understand that. And there's an element to that I understand is like, it's a popularity contest. Well, you know what marketing is? It's a popularity contest.
Absolutely.
But your popularity is you showing how good you are. If you just blanket asking for votes, I vote every year.
Yeah, so
Nobody
do I.
knows who I vote for, but I vote every year.
Yeah.
And I look at what people are asking and what they're, requesting. Somebody just said, hey, will you please vote for me?
Yeah.
Well, why?
Right.
Tell me why. Why should I vote for you?
Right.
That's the important part.
You talk about
the simplest thing. Why should I shop at your store? Why should I go? See what it answers those questions. They're very simple. If you can answer why for me, you can answer why for your business. You're way ahead in just marketing. And then we added in consumer votes. People, the consumer votes and anybody, you know what? The consumer votes is so you can get your accomplishment out to all your consumers so they know you're a rock star already and you're trying to compete with everybody else in the country. So now you're doing marketing of your accomplishment. I mean, think about that just from that standpoint. Every person that I've ever sat down and had a conversation with that's gone through this process has said their business has grown as a result of that marketing. Simple.
Right, because you're learning how to do things to get your name out there, whether it's locally or regionally or nationally or whatever the case may be. We talk about the popularity contest, and I bring this up all the time. Rick Kojan from Sony had the greatest speech in Vegas when they were on stage, where he said, everybody talks about this being a popularity contest. And he goes, and you're right, but it's also a work your ass off contest because you are. I mean, we all know to get your name out there and to get people to vote for you, no matter what fashion you're participating in the awards as, you have to be recognized. People have to know who you are and know what you do. So as when I was competing as an installer, we're posting our work, we're out helping people, with questions and whatever the case may be. And that's how you got recognized. And that's how people knew who to vote for. So yeah, you're right. Marketing 101 is just, you're out there.
So let's go to the next step. You've made it to a finalist. How does that change you? I mean, you're getting ready to put your business or yourself under a microscope.
Yeah.
And you're going to do an analysis that, is eye-opening.
Yeah.
Eye-opening. And the questions we ask, and the questions we ask are meant to, pull up the carpet and look and shake it out and look at what's under it.
Yeah. Look at who brushed the dust under the carpet and didn't vacuum it up, right?
Yeah, and those that have gone through that process and some multiple times to get to the top, realize every year. I remember Matt when Matt won. I'll just leave that one. He got the runner-up, which we don't do anymore.
Right.
And I remember sitting down and talking with him after, and like, man, what do I need to do? And you know what? You need to be better at your photography. You need, hone these skills. And he went after it.
Yeah.
And what do you see now? You see somebody that's producing professional videos with every vehicle that he did that didn't do that before the awards.
Right.
He had no skills with cameras or anything else like that. And then really looked at how can I show off what I do better?
Right.
And frankly, that he may have had the skill and the talent to win it the year before, but nobody knew.
Right.
When he stepped it up and showed his work, then things changed.
Right.
And it's the same thing. I'm sure there are plenty of installers out there that say, well, I know I'm better than that person, or I don't need the recognition. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm gonna add one more person to that. Our good old friend Chris Pate. How many years did he go
Yep.
through the process?
Yep.
And each year probably, unravel that carpet back even further,
And look where Chris Pate's business is. And I'm not taking credit for that or anything,
Right.
but I'm saying
No.
he like any business owner, he had to look at his business every year and go, how come I'm not better than somebody else? And once you
Right.
get into that mindset, you're always trying to be better than you were the day before. Always.
Right. Yeah. And the thing that Elias and I have talked about this, and we've had this conversation a couple times in our committee. You get those people that go, "Oh, I'm better than that person," or that person, whatever they want to say, right? Because they're bitter, or because they didn't participate, or whatever the case may be. The awards are not about who is the absolute best shop or best retailer or best installer, because best is relative, right? The winners of the awards represent who is the best representative of our industry this year.
Yeah. I mean, you look at this year, we had both a single store and multi-store.
Mm-hmm.
And, Dave Wall is challenging others, from Columbus Car Stereo, challenging other multi-stores to get involved.
Right.
We had enough this year to be able to kind of surprise everybody with a second award. And that to me, meant a lot and said a lot too, because, now he's getting involved in teaching others. He'll be teaching in Dallas.
Yeah.
And, bringing more of his crew. And that makes an impact. And he wants to see others make an impact as well. And he knows there's a lot of multi-stores that should be up there.
Well, when we're able to bring back or create a new award based on more participation, that's amazing, because that shows that our industry is working and getting better. And though we are a very small industry, in those ways we're growing, because we're getting more people involved in the industry outside of their own little space.
And that has a lot to do with it.
A lot.
So, we're competing with other industries. Other industries have awards. Other industries have recognition. We're not just competing against ourselves.
No.
But it also sets a standard, like you go through the process and you have a basis of where was I in 2022? I got to level up 2023 and so forth, so it gives you the ability to level up. And, if you do want to be better and put forth, the right, fundamentals to achieve that, it allows you to constantly better yourself, like we've spoken, self-reflect, which I think is huge. I think that's like my biggest takeaway, the self-reflecting part. But it also gives yourself an overall standard to how to be better progressively. You can't be in that cruise control or that, flatlining, mentality. It gives you the sense of urgency to be better every day, So I think that's strong.
Yeah. And, when we finally get to the awards and, you're hanging out with 500 of your friends and you're looking out in the audience, and it, I've seen the toughest of guys, most popular, can talk to anybody, choke up and have a rough time having a conversation when you stand up in front of that crew. It's intimidating.
I remember walking up there in 2015 for the, Trusted Tech Award and standing there, and you can have any idea of what you think you might say, and it can all go out the window.
Yep.
It was tough. Like, one, I didn't expect to win, but then you walk up there and you're trying to come up with something on the fly. But looking at all those people, I've been on stages as a teen and in my 20s, playing to thousands of people. And then all of a sudden you're standing up in front of a bunch of people that put you where you are.
Mm-hmm. It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, because, 2016, I was not expecting to win. I for sure thought
none of us expected you to win. No.
It's one of those things where, I was the new guy, so like for me, it's like, I'm like, oh, Dan Bowman or Josh Landau for sure. And I'm just there like, for the ride, and I hear my name get called, and I'm like, I'm being punked. Like did they say my name? Let me just wait for it one more time. And I kind of like look up and I see Solomon like, hello,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will say this, individual wins, go a long way, and you cherish those memories and you love those. But I'll tell you, man, I love the wins for others more collectively,
Yeah.
seeing friends, seeing people that are close to you, seeing guys that have shown that growth, man, that's a touching feeling. I love those, more than, an individual win, those touch me and hit home and resonate, so much deeper, So
back in the day when Solomon was doing the awards, I unless there was a tiebreaker that had to happen, I always kind of recused myself. I didn't want to know who won. And then when I started kind of doing the Vanna White to hand him the awards as they come up, I would find out who won the award as I turned it over and went, oh, wow. It's like, so I was kind of getting that. I don't have that anymore, but I do have a unique perspective standing in the back, watching you guys, make your speeches and talking and seeing you come up on the stage. I have kind of a different view. We've got a video coming out later this week when we launch the awards, just in a couple days here, launch the nominations. I had an interview with all of the award winners. I should say a top sampling of the award winners, retailers of the year, sales pro of the year, rookie of the year, technician of the year, trusted tech, and installer of the year. We had them all on one group.
That's awesome.
And it's about a 25-minute, really impactful. I only had 2 questions for them, and it's you guys are really going to enjoy that one. I put it together. I don't want to say ad hoc, but we put it together because we wanted to launch the awards with, what did the award mean to me? That was question 1, and that's what they, how's it changed me? And the second question is, what's your challenge for others? And it was very, you guys will enjoy it. It was cool. Much better than I even expected. And I expected it to be pretty good coming from that crew.
That's an interesting question when you say, what is it, what did it do for me, or how has it affected me? Elias and I have talked about this, and I've actually had this conversation with Chris McNulty before. Well, both of us have. None of us would be where we are. I wouldn't work for who I work for. Elias probably would not work for who he works for. Chris McNulty would probably not be in the position he's in if it wasn't for participating in the awards. So, in certain ways, it can be life-changing. Yeah. Because I had gotten to a point where I had back problems and health issues from doing what we do. And if I wouldn't have been able to find a way out, I would have been out. Like, I'd have been in a different industry at this point if I would not have been able to find a way to move to the manufacturer side.
Yeah, I got out of the Bay and out of retail back in I guess 95, end of 95. So, right as the awards were beginning to kick off. So never really got to participate myself.
Yeah.
But, enjoyed getting involved in committees and things of that nature over the years, and kind of led me to where I'm at now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got to ask, we spoke a little briefly on each progression and stopping point, along the journey of the awards, but, let's look at it from a different perspective. For those that, and I always ask this, and I typically, taper off with this, towards the ends of all our podcasts, but words of influence from Chris Cook, why do it? Why haven't you done it? That kind of mentality. Like, for those that, maybe have disappeared or, haven't partaken or are actively doing it, what are some words of encouragement, or influence from you directly? Because this is your baby. Let's call it what it is,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's knock the first one down. What's the objection of getting involved? And the ones that I hear the most are, it's just a click. It's just a popularity contest. Well, you know what? It's not a click. And when we feel like there's a click starting, we do our best to just get rid of it. And that's one of the reasons we have the committee, is to make sure that you keep us honest and that we, kind of follow that, making it great for the industry. Are you allowed to say making it great again?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're not building it back better because it was already good. So, in general, the thing that I would encourage everybody to do is to take a second look. If you've kind of glanced by and say, I'm not going to get involved in that, or you think you'd never get there, just take a moment, take 5 minutes, take your phone, do a walk around in your shop with the qualifications and submit it, because you'll never know. I mean, there are a lot of people that are looking at you that you don't know that are looking to you to find out how they can be better. Stores that have never participated, installers that have never participated, that they might see on the forums that help them, personally.
Mhm.
These are all the things that make our industry great, is how we support each other. Not how MEA supports you, but how all of the members and all of the industry participants support each other. And that's the best part about the awards, is it becomes we've all made it to one place and now we're all becoming recognized. And I would encourage everybody, just take your phone out and try it. Just try it for, if you've never tried it before or you haven't tried it in a long time, just try it, because you'll be blessed by the result. I guarantee it.
I agree. I agree.
100%.
And, there's plenty of time to, take part in it. You would think that there's a very short window to do all of this. This stretches out over, what, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, it does. And we're starting, 30 days earlier this year than we did last year. So adding some more time to it is, it's a little tough, but we're able to kick it off before Dallas. Last year, we couldn't kick it off till, a couple weeks after Dallas. So, we're right in that point where, let's see, it's supposed to kick off. Hopefully we'll kick it off tomorrow, but it'll be either tomorrow or Friday. The nominations are open through September 17th. So you've got a month to grab your phone and walk around your store and nominate yourself. And they're like, well, why would I nominate myself? I'm going to tell you real quick. It's a very simple exercise. And the reason is the nomination gets seconded by somebody else. But the reason is some people just, I don't want to say too lazy to nominate, or they forget, or they missed the deadline, or you called them and they didn't do it. So nominating yourself is just an easy way to do it. Just pretend you're nominating somebody else. Step out of yourself for a minute, nominate yourself. It's not, it will feel uncomfortable when you first do it, but once you do it, you'll learn something from it, and then you're going to be better on camera next time.
Well, it's been brought up several times like that about why people should nominate themselves. Politicians have to nominate themselves. Mm-hmm. Not that that's a great thing nowadays. I mean, we don't really.
They have to knock on the doors. They have to get a certain amount of signatures. They have to show that they've done the work. And that's it. You're doing the work.
If you want to be voted into a space, you have to put your name out there. And this is no different. And it, like you said, it will make you look at things about yourself or about your store and what you do.
Yeah, and when you become a finalist, there's a whole nother forensic, thing that you're going to be doing through your business.
Sure.
But the voting for the finalists is a group of, volunteer judges that pour through every single thing, looking for you to answer the questions that we've asked and answer them, in order and properly. Hopefully, it just makes it a little easier for the judges.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. But when you do that, these judges, it doesn't matter how popular you are.
No.
At that point, there are 12, 2 alternates in each one. There are 14 people that they're looking through, that they're judging based on their perspective of that person. And there's multiple judges for each category. Right. So when you win, you've been examined by peers, many times past winners, that have put their stamp of approval on your business, with their reputation, saying, this person or this business rocks, and I feel I need the recognition. Right. When you get multiple people like that and we aggregate the results to get the winners, when you're standing up there being handed that award, you won. You really won.
You've put the work in, and you've won something that let's be honest, very few people can
Look, I've seen more popular installers lose.
Yep.
And ones that were somewhat obscure that made it to the top 12 win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a testament to how these things are judged.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Chris, I want to say thank you for, taking some time. And I know you're very busy schedule, especially right now with Knowledge Fest Dallas right around the corner.
Dallas is going to be a rock and roll. And remember, this is going to feel like some of the years past. It's a really
I'm
good
looking
crew.
forward to it. I'm still working on putting together some stuff that we talked about for doing something at Knowledge Fest with this. But thank you for taking some time to come and chat and help us kind of roll this out. And we hope to chat with you again throughout the process.
Anytime, guys. I appreciate all you do.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We'll talk to you soon. See you in Dallas.
Thank you for all you do, Chris.
Wow.
It's always a big motivator every time Chris is around you or in the presence, just because he has this vision for everybody to just grow and be a part of something, or just it's like cheerleading / mentorship / encouragement all in one little nudge.
Yeah. He's got this positive energy for everyone. There's no favorites. There's no I like you better than I like that person. He's got equal energy for every single person in the industry. And I think we all know it. Sometimes that's got to be a challenge, but that guy does it with ease. You know?
It's with all the stuff that he has going on, he probably wears so many hats, throughout the day, but he finds a way to lift us all up.
Right.
So
right.
It's great.
Absolutely.
And, at the end of the day, what we do, we try to put our little dent in the influence side of things too. But,
sure.
Chris is Chris, and we all love and respect him for everything that he does for us as a whole, and individually. It's awesome to have, guys like him, being the face of our industry,
It is. It really is. There's a bunch of us out there that cheerlead and rah for, certain people or for everyone, but he is definitely the guy that leads the charge when it comes to getting people hyped about the awards.
Yeah. All in all, I'm excited that the awards are starting.
I get excited every year. I
don't
even really participate. I will be. I think I'll most likely throw my name in the hat for tech support. But
there you go. But this is what gets us excited, and I always love seeing the growth, in the awards. And I think, for everyone, just like Chris said, just try it.
Yeah.
Just kind of see what happens, and you'll see. And this is just from my perspective. Once you do it once, it's going to be a number 2, a number 3. It's going to be progressive. And then, here's the better part. Here's the next layer of it. Once you start feeling comfortable in participating in the awards, like it's something you have to do, that person next to you or that close friend or whomever you want to encourage, now you're lifting up other people too.
Becomes contagious, right?
It becomes contagious. And that's my favorite thing to tell everybody, take part in the awards. It's going to better you, and you're going to see, that growth,
Right.
So if you do it for yourself, you're going to be able to influence others. And, let's add, the layer of what Chris said. Just try it. See what happens. Just see what happens.
And I look at heart, I'm still an installer, right? So I get excited about who are the installers that I don't know. Who are the people that are going to put their name in the hat, and now I got to go figure out who they are because I didn't know who they are. And again, because I don't work day to day in installation, so I'm not focused on that side of the industry every day. Seeing some of these guys some of these people that show up in the list, and I don't know who that is, or I remember a little something, or I saw something that person posted, or a question they asked, or a comment they made that helped somebody else. And so you kind of you get some notoriety of people who may not know who you are, so they go look you up, and you'd be surprised where that takes you in each season of the awards.
Yeah, and something else to think about it too, like you probably at one point or another did some tech support with a certain person you may not know. It's hard to remember everybody's name or where they are in the US. True. But the power of influence that you have, whether it's you've spoken to this person, then you see their name pop up, or at the bar at Beer and Business, on the Knowledge Fest floor, or after hours networking. Like, these are moments where you can take what you believe in, what we believe in, and influence someone, and we'll see more new names. That's the hope. Every time there's somebody new or somebody that we knew that should have absolutely partaken in the awards, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like the wins for others now, just because it makes me feel a different kind of good and warm and fuzzy inside.
So one thing I want to kind of finish with is, if you put your name in the hat, you nominate yourself, or somebody nominates you to participate, and you make that video, and for whatever reason you don't make the top 50, don't get discouraged. This year wasn't your year. Look at what you did. Look at the video you made, reflect on what you're doing. Look at what other people are doing. Watch those videos that other people post, and use that to learn how next year you get there.
Absolutely.
You don't always, look at race car drivers, man. These guys get out there and they work their butt off to win a race, and they don't always win.
And the same is to be said if you get into the top, and then I'm sorry, if you're a top 50 and you make it to the top 12, or you don't let that discourage you. Or if you get into the top 12 and don't win, don't let that discourage you. It's progressive.
That should be fuel. Yeah, make that fuel for the next year.
Absolutely.
Make that fuel for the next year, because you never know from one year to the next. And I'm hoping through this process, we get to have some conversations with some guys that we know about, that from one year to the next, it was magical.
Yep. I will say this. I'm going to give my own little nugget as the awards are about to start. And I mean this from the nicest way possible, but please answer the questions. That's my little tip.
Yeah.
Just answer the questions. Don't skip them.
Yep. I think as part of the committee, you and I both, I think we've seen that maybe there's some transparency that we're going to be able to present this year, and that'll help going forward. I think if people are able to see what all they're in for, so to speak, quote unquote, that'll help them prepare.
Yep. But it's important to make sure you address every single question, because there's a reason, why it's there. And, it's one of those things where it's easy to get sidetracked and skip it, but, double check and make sure you answer the questions, because at the end of the day, that's going to add some sort of weight.
Yeah, 100%.
This is
alrighty, man. Well, let's go ahead and head on out, and we will see you in Dallas probably for a little bit at least, right?
Yeah.
And let's talk to everyone we can about how to get there.
Yeah, the awards are about to kick off, guys. So keep an eye out for that, and take part in it.
All right, Elias, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Brian.
Once again, thank you, Chris, for participating and coming on with us, and we will see everybody again real soon.